To practice alchemy is to engage in a long process of refinement of essence. Generally, most believe that this alchemical refinement of essence involves external manipulation of material, where a certain substance like lead, for example, is slowly refined and turned into another substance that is considered to be far more valuable, more precious, purer somehow. Chemistry, metallurgy, and a host of other sciences may relate to this refinement process, so that in the end an alchemist is seen as an eccentric rogue chemist of sorts, with a preference for the strange and the pseudosciences. But, from my personal perspective, this is not alchemy, at least it is not the type of alchemy that I practice. This is so because from the perspective of alchemy as I know it, the process of refinement has very little to do with the manipulation of base matter as such, nor does it involve the needed use of tools, instruments, and devices of all sorts, which are themselves created from this external base matter. This is a most difficult topic to discuss, and the use of a certain vocabulary is required. This vocabulary needs to include words like Maya, illusion, the matrix, and the demiurge. Also, with the help of this rather odd vocabulary, there is the need to see the world through the eyes of an alchemist, who could for the sake of simplicity, separate the world into three basic forms: the spiritual, the material, and the mind. The spiritual is the inner essence, it is an existence beyond time or space as we currently understand those terms. It is this multidimensional and infinitely vibrant inner essence that makes the outer world that we know, and a seemingly infinite host of other possible dimensional existences that exist beyond current scientific comprehension. The material world, as mentioned, is the result of this inner multidimensional vitality that we can term spirit, which is in itself a problematic term to use, because this term creates certain psychological boundaries that do not exist within this inner multidimensional realm. That is, this inner vitality is beyond the term spirit, and I do use it here only as a way to denote the difference between the inner essence and the outer material world. This material world, which can be simply denoted as all the things that we can experience with our five senses, is an illusion. It is, using the old Sanskrit word, Maya, or in other words, illusion. It is a matrix, a dream, placed in front of our eyes, hiding the true inner essence of all things, and the true energetic reality of all existence. An alchemist, as I know alchemy therefore, knows that the alchemical process of refinement involves internal manipulation of spirit essence, not the manipulation of external matter, with yet more external matter. To clarify, an alchemist does not use chemistry, or metallurgy, which are forms of external manipulations of base matter, to try and refine internal essence, which is spirit. Certainly, a scientist can, and they have, developed ways to use matter, that is external objects like a particle accelerator for example, to transmute matter from one thing to another. But such external manipulation of matter by matter will never be able to refine spirit. And as scientists begin to truly comprehend the obstacles that face them, as they try to manipulate matter, by just engaging in the manipulation of matter with other matter, they will begin to hit barriers that will be insurmountable, using current technology. As such, alchemists devote themselves to a different type of technology, a technology, or thaumaturgy if you prefer, that involves itself with internal manipulation of spiritual essence, that can, when properly directed, change the external material world, truly, from the inside out. As such, they practice internal arts that have nothing to do with foundries, supercolliders, or chemistry labs. In order to do this, alchemists engage in the development and refinement of the three energetic polarities, the Holy Trinity of Alchemy, using the third basic form that makes up the human world. This third form unites both spirit and matter, and has been termed here in this video as the mind. The development of these three polarities is the most essential aspect of alchemical practice, because it provides the only escape from the material trap created by the demiurge, that is, the Great Archonic trap, that holds humanity in perceptual bondage. Someone new to the practice of internal alchemy, knowing that the study of the Holy Alchemical Trinity is all important to an alchemist, might therefore ask, how long should each polarity be practiced? But it must be realized, and carefully noted, that the whole of this refinement of the Trinity is most definitely a life project, because the interrelationship between each polarity is such, and there is so much more to access as the body and the inner essence refines itself, that a person can never stop striving towards greater and greater refinement and spiritual purity. As far as an initial starting point, which is perhaps what someone might mean when they ask such questions about time required to master each polarity, I would suggest that each polarity should be initially perfected, to the point that these polarities become strong enough, refined enough, to be able to break the hold that the Great Archon may have over you personally. For example, if we define the Holy Trinity using the energetic terms, in, out, and void, as I do, then, through the use of the in polarity, you should be able to absorb all you have lost. Through the use of the void polarity, you should be able to contain all that you are at any one point in time, without loss. Through the use of the out polarity, you should be able to strengthen your will enough to begin to attain some of what you value in this life. This initial starting point may take months or years. We are all different, and we all tend to be more proficient with one polarity than the others. But the basic guideline should always be to break the archonic hold. This requires great personal objectivity and sobriety, as a person must be able to most honestly judge his or her personal energetic state, without interference from the egoistic self. As the refinement of the polarities advances, a person will note a change in the self, as they have access to more energy, and as they are able to move that energy with greater facility. This will change a person, slowly but surely. This will begin to refine the great stone, the personal lapis philosophorum that we all have the possibility to create. And as this change happens, new potentials will be activated, that will then open up new pathways to greater refinement of the polarities. This endless refinement goes on for the whole of the alchemist's life. Refinement creates new challenges, and opens up new roads to be followed and explored. But the one guiding core is to always move away from the Great Archonic hold, because that is the way to freedom, and that is the true goal of alchemy. If you would like a detailed explanation of the inner alchemical process, the Holy Trinity of Alchemy, and the Archonic trap, then I recommend the book, Overcoming the Archon Through Alchemy. I will leave a link to this book in the description below.